Hey guys, Tony Wilde II here. This is gonna be a much more serious video. And I make this video not as a way to emotionally manipulate you guys or to make you pity me or anything like that. I make this video solely as a way to show support and solidarity to a fellow content creator that I truly admire and respect, and someone I consider to be a brother in arms, since our styles, though different in a lot of ways, are quite similar. I respect this man, and I totally understand where he's coming from and what he's dealing with. The problem that he's dealing with, I honestly think, is somewhat of a universal problem here on YouTube, and something that isn't really addressed that much because, like he said in his video, we're told not to address it because addressing it makes it worse and breeds drama and blah 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 blah, the excuses that we always use when it comes to dealing with shit like this. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all to just keep it bottled up and not express it. And it's a damn shame that we're not allowed to express these feelings because we fear the backlash, or we fear causing drama and riling people up and getting offended. It's sad that we can't be honest with ourselves or honest with you guys, when clearly that's the goal of many people on this platform. Anyway, I'm going on a tirade there. I apologize in advance if this actually turns out to be a rambling mess. I didn't write anything for this. I'm just speaking straight from my mind. I'm speaking from an emotional place and a place of understanding. But as I stated before, I make this video as a way to show support and solidarity to a YouTuber called TheMysteriousMrEnter. I'm not sure how I was introduced to his channel, but I do know I saw his channel about 1.5 years ago, and ever since then I've just been following the guy. I like his points, I like his criticisms and critiques and opinions on things. We may not always see eye to eye. Like, I personally like Teen Titans Go. He's not a fan of it. I like Drawn Together. He's not a fan of it. But even though we don't see eye to eye all the time, I still respect what he has to say. And I do feel like he brings up good points. Now, he reviews cartoon shows and animated series ranging from kid shows like SpongeBob SquarePants and Teen Titans Go to shows like Drawn Together, or to adult shows like Drawn Together, The Nut Shack, Family Guy, all those stuff. I like his broad perspective of the animation world and how it can inspire you in so many ways. I dare say that Mr. Ender himself was an inspiration for me. I found him in 2016. It was not a good year for me. Not a good year for me. I was in a depression. I had no creative outlet. I didn't know how to really be creative anymore. I felt like I was losing touch of that. And I really was questioning whether or not the YouTube thing, doing what I did on YouTube, was even valuable in my life anymore. Did it help my life, or did it take things away from me? Is it a toxic part of who I am now? All these things were happening when I found Mr. Ender, and I will say that after finding him, I kind of was rejuvenated in a sense. I'm happy I found him. He came at a time that I really was questioning whether or not I wanted to still do YouTube and keep doing YouTube. And then I found him, and it just was clear as day, like, yes, I should still keep doing this because some things just need to be said. And I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy the comments. I enjoy the likes. I enjoy hearing from my subscribers. So in that regard, if you are watching this, Mr. Ender, I doubt, but thank you for that. It really helped. And since then, I've always been a faithful subscriber of yours. But recently, after he did his Legend of Korra review, which, by the way, I still like the first season of Legend of Korra. But I have to say, I found his video to be quite informative and pointed out things that I personally did not notice when I first saw the first season of Legend of Korra. And I felt like his arguments, his opinions, and his critiques and criticisms of the show were valid and they made sense. It's not like he just said he hated the show because it's bad. He went into it's a 52-minute long video. He goes into full detail explaining the problems of that show, or the season. Although he does kind of dip back and forth, like he talks about season 2 as well. But he basically goes into full detail explaining the problems he sees in it. Some of the problems are quite obvious, like the love triangle. I think we all can agree the love triangle is fucking stupid. But he also points out other things that I also didn't know about the concept, like the whole idea of world building, the problems that the show creates when it comes to building its world. I didn't notice that at all. So I found that very insightful, and it made a lot of sense. He also pointed the problem about the pro-bending sport, which I thought was cool when I first saw it, but when he points it out and says this is the problems with it, I'm like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. And I never did question the rules and how things worked and how they would break these rules constantly. So, I for one liked the video. I knew he was going to get a lot of flack for it because people love The Legend of Korra, even though it is it's inferior to the original. I don't think anyone will deny that, but there's a huge fan base for it. Surprised he didn't touch on the whole Korra Asami thing, which I think is a much more interesting discussion to have about whether or not that was built up through the series or was something tacked on at the last second just to be, hey, look how cool we are. I would really love to have that discussion one day. Maybe we'll wait and see. So yeah, after he made that review, he's been feeling a little burnt out, and he said at the beginning of this video that he was on the edge of something. You know, it could be burnout, it could be exhaustion and stuff, and he goes on a 30-minute explanation of where he is mentally, how he's feeling, the fact that he kind of feels the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's kind of burnt out from all of the criticisms that he's been hearing, the people backstabbing him in the community and all that stuff, and I can't really do that video any justice. I'll just put a link in the description and you can watch it for yourself. Hopefully he hasn't taken it down because he said that he might. But I really think it's an important video to watch because what he says on that video does not only apply to him, but I feel like it applies to a lot of the content creators, if not a majority of the content creators here on YouTube. As I stated earlier in that big rambly monologue at the beginning, you know, a lot of us content creators are not allowed to just express the fact that, you know, we're individuals and we get hurt when people dislike our videos or leave mean comments or make videos saying why this content creator fucking sucks. He's stupid. You know, we don't talk about that stuff because if we do, one, we'll be probably picking on a smaller channel than ours, and two, we're just causing up controversy, and three, we're being emotionally manipulative and trying to make our fan base kind of say, oh, it's okay, there, you know, we're always here to support you. And then people will criticize that, like, oh, look at this guy, he's just emotion begging, you know, he's trying to ask his supporters to help him. But the truth is, these are things that need to be talked about. Will it cause controversy? Maybe. It's a huge chance that it will, especially if you name drop. But they still need to be stated. These are conversations we need to have. And we need to make sure that the people who create the content make it clear to the people watching it. I mean, it's mostly clear to everybody who watches people on YouTube, especially if you are a die-hard YouTube watcher. If you are like me and are on YouTube 24 hours a day, you already understand this, is that YouTubers, content creators, are just people trying to make ends meet. They're people trying to be interesting and likable and gain an audience. They're just people. And when you no longer see them as people, if you start attacking them without understanding, wait a minute, that's just another person with an opinion, that becomes dangerous. And that does have major implications and effects on other people. I feel like in this day and age we seem to forget that we are, like, us. We're people. At the end of the day, we're just like you watching this video right now. We have tough days. We have days where we feel like shit. We have days where we don't want to make content or we're completely burnt out. I've had many of those. And most of them, I will admit, were caused because of incredible backlash, mean comments, and dislikes. Plethora of things. Plethora, whatever. I also feel like it's more indicative of a bigger problem on YouTube, and that is something I addressed previously in another video, where that there's a lack of nuance on YouTube. People can have dissenting opinions. Everything needs to be an echo chamber. We all need to be on the same page, or else we're going to ostracize you. How dare you have a dissenting opinion on YouTube? We're not open to hearing other people's opinions that don't coincide with our own. We're not willing to hear somebody out when they harshly or even intelligently critique something that we do not agree with, or something that we love. I experienced this very recently, twice, in the span of a week and a half or so. The first time it happened was when I did my video talking about how the summer movie season of 2017 fucking sucked, in my opinion. Because I added movies like Wonder Woman, Dunkirk, War for the Planet of the Apes, people just had this knee-jerk reaction like, whoa, what are you saying, they're bad films too? Oh man, that's terrible. How dare you say that? I love that film. Because I love that film, you need to love it too. Dislike your shit. I read a comment in that video where they basically took the first line that I said in the video and just applied it to me. I started the video off saying that, you know, the summer movie season has finally come to a wrap, and I can clearly say that it fucking sucked. What they did was, I just finished watching the video and I can clearly say that I'm completely done with you. Your content is shit. I do not agree with your points. How dare you say these things about these films when I love these films. How could you? And you know what? That person has every right to express what they felt like. That's totally fine. But I don't think they had to be as harsh as they were to me for having that opinion. It's not like that video was a personal attack on everybody that loved this summer. If you really thought that the summer movie season of 2017 was one of the best summer movie seasons, you're well in your right to feel that way. I did not. And I state exactly why I felt that way in the video. But it's not meant as a personal attack upon your own opinion. We're allowed to disagree. It's totally fine. Where it's not fine is where we start attacking someone else's character for having said opinion. That's where the problem lies. And the second time it happened was when I did my It review. This one surprised me the most, and I came this close to making a video about it. It surprised me the most because I really liked the film. I enjoyed it. I found it to be fun. I loved the guy who played Pennywise. But because I had some dissenting opinions, because I actually had some criticisms geared towards the film, people disliked the video. They'll have comments saying, wow, this is a terrible review. Wow, how dare you attack the kids? How could you say the kids, their acting was bad? I thought their acting was great. And so on and so forth. It got so repetitive. The comments, it was almost like deja vu each time I read the comments because they all said the same thing. How could you not like the kids acting? How could you not like the kids acting? How could you not like the kids acting? I thought their acting was great. I thought their acting was great. They did stellarly in the performances. That's fine. If you feel that way, that's fine. I did not. That review is not in any way, shape, or form meant to belittle the way you felt about a film. It's not meant to make you feel like your opinion isn't justified. It is a review, an honest critique of the film based on how I saw it and my experience with it. And from how I saw it and experienced it, I thought that the kids' acting was subpar. Now, a lot of people seem to forget that my biggest complaint with the acting didn't even come from the kids. The adults were worse actors than the kids. At least the kids, some of them were convincing, and they had their moments here and there where I thought they were great. But they just lacked consistency with their performances. It wasn't meant as a personal attack on the kids. It was meant to explain the problems I saw with their performances. Now, was I a bit harsh on some of them? Yeah, sure. The Jewish kid and the black kid, I feel like those are the only two kids I think I was a little harsh on. Do I take back what I said? No. Could I have said it in a better way? Sure. But the point still stands. And, you know, when I got that whole backlash and everything like that, it took a toll on me, you know? I thought that review was harmless in nature. You know, I didn't expect that much of a backlash or people getting angry about it, but it did. And a similar thing happened to Mr. Ender, you know? He was just sharing his honest opinion about The Legend of Korra. And his opinion is not indicative of your opinion. It's just another man's opinion and the way that he saw the series. But because it went against the fray, it went against the current, the pushback was hard. In a similar way, the same thing happened to me when I did the whole Korra Sami thing and how I felt like it was totally tacked on. There was a pushback for that. Not as big as his, sure, but still a pushback. And it just breaks my heart that he's going through this difficult situation. You know, it sucks. And I want to let him know that he's not alone in this feeling. I've felt like this multiple times throughout my YouTube career. There were many times where I just felt like leaving it all behind. Is it even worth it? Hell, I came very close to doing that this year. After doing Ghost in the Shell, I almost decided to quit YouTube because the vitriol, the vileness, the mean things that were being thrown towards me for having a differing opinion was so extreme and harsh, I almost could not have taken it. And that was a bad time in my life too. So you have all those hateful things added to my own personal issues, and you just had a clusterfuck of problems, and it got too much. I literally broke down on a live stream because of how terrible things were getting. But yeah, I can totally relate to him. To sum it up, guys, at the end of the day, just remember that the people that you watch on YouTube are just like you. We are people too. We may not always see eye to eye, but that's okay. Where it becomes a problem is where we cannot see past our own biases to hear what someone else has to say. When we're unwilling to have a civil discussion or to have a dissenting opinion with somebody else, and we lash out, sometimes in very mean, harsh ways, that's a problem. Because it could get your favorite content creator, it could get your favorite YouTuber to just quit the platform entirely because they feel like what they're saying isn't worth shit. There's no value to what they're saying. because everyone wants to hear the popular opinion instead of their opinion, their honest opinion. Sometimes it helps, guys, to just step back for a second. Step out of your own comfort zone. Step out of your own biases. Try to hear someone else's perspective. I, for one, am still working on that myself. I feel like I've gotten much better at it, and I am willing to hear what others have to say. But it is still, in a sense, a bit of a struggle. Because when I have my mind set on one thing and I feel this way about a particular thing, it's really hard for me to budge from that. But as I proved last year, I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong or if my opinions have changed. Because as humans, we evolve. That's the thing, we change. How you feel about a certain thing today may not be exactly how you feel about it years down the road. You may disagree right now with Mr. Ender about the legend of Korra. You may think that his points are not valid. You might think that they're complete bullshit. But maybe later down the road, when you actually start delving into more of the type of content that he used to review, or maybe even be a part of that industry, maybe you'll start seeing it from a different perspective and realize, wow, he made some good points. I think it's made much easier for me to see other people's opinion because I do these reviews. And I understand that everyone has a varying degree of opinions. We're all not always going to see eye to eye. Now, sometimes we will. And just because your opinion is a part of the popular opinion doesn't make it a bad opinion. It still is your opinion. It's just that your opinion seems to be something that a lot of people agree with, which is never a bad thing. But just because somebody goes against the fray of your opinion doesn't mean you should chastise them for doing so. A civil discussion is much better than just going on a tirade and calling somebody a fucking idiot for not getting it, or they weren't smart enough to figure it out, or you're just a hater. Engage. We're people too. We will listen to you. I listen to all of my comments. I listen to all of the criticisms I get geared towards me. I'm willing to have a civil discussion. I have no problems having a civil discussion. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's just that when you start going out of your way to attack somebody because of a dissenting opinion, that's where it becomes the problem. And it hurts. It really does. We might not speak of it, but it's there. Anyway, this video is long enough. I'm sorry that I went on this whole tirade in a sense. I just had to make this video to send some love to Mr. Ender. You're not alone, buddy. I feel your pain. I'm with you there. And I hope that whatever you're going through, whatever edge you're on, I hope that you can rise above it, find a way to, get back on the horse. I know you can do it. You seem like a resilient guy. You're smart. You talk about you were making a novel, you're writing a book, you're trying to make a cartoon series. I'm excited for that. That's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I kind of wish I knew about this. I just heard about it in your little video, or not little, I heard it in your video, so now I kind of want to support it. But yeah, man, hang in there. There are many people in your community, many people that are subscribed to you that do want you to be all you can be. There are people out there that are fully on board to support you. Never forget those. Let those voices rise above the haters, the people that want to bring you down. I read through some of your comments, man. There are a lot of people that are supporting you. If you want to take a break, you most definitely deserve it. Don't worry about it. I know it's going to be really hard to take a break because with the stuff that we do, we have to be consistent. Remember, this is a job for most of us, and when you're not consistent in this field, you do lose revenue, and it makes life much harder because of the bills and all that stuff, you know. I can tell you, I had some rough days, man, when I never made content, and I suffered financially because of it. So, but yeah, hang in there, Mr. Ender. And there's one thing you can always know. I got your back, bro. Keep being awesome. And I would love if we ever get the chance, I would love to have a discussion with you about some of the things you talk about. I'd love to talk to you about Teen Titans Go. I think that'd be interesting. Or we could talk about Drawn Together too. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it was long and rambly. It's kind of in the nature of what I do on this channel. But yes, thank you. And hopefully you gain some new perspective about things. And hopefully you go check out Mr. Ender's channel. Go send him some love. Send him some support. He needs it. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. Peace, YouTube.